There is a house in California you can buy for less than a used electric car. The catch is that it sits near a prison, but at least the neighbors keep predictable schedules. The idea that affordable California housing is dead has been repeated so often it feels like fact. Tech money flooded the coast, rents exploded, and suddenly even optimism feels overpriced. Yet people still need somewhere to live, and unless your investments turned into a miracle, spending close to $1 million for a tiny box with plumbing issues is not realistic. Beneath the noise and hype, there are towns that most people skip over, places where the price tags feel like they belong to another decade. These are not glossy influencer cities or postcard neighborhoods. They are strange, quiet, hot, dusty, stubborn places that still allow regular people to buy property without destroying their future. They are not perfect, but they are real, and choosing the wrong one can cost you years of regret. Barstow sits between Los Angeles and Las Vegas like a pause button someone forgot to unpause. It feels suspended in time, sunburned and stubborn. Houses here regularly sell for under $200,000, a number that feels fictional anywhere else in the state. The cost of living is dramatically lower than the coastal cities, and rents hover around what people elsewhere pay for a parking space. Crime exists, mostly petty and inconvenient rather than cinematic, and the town's reputation is louder than its reality. The economy revolves around logistics, rail lines, a nearby military base, and the steady flow of travelers passing through without stopping. Life here is quiet in a way that forces you to confront your own thoughts. The desert wind is aggressive, sunsets are dramatic, and the town has a strange freedom to it. Barstow does not charm you immediately, but once you stop searching for excitement, you notice the retro diners, the antique shops, and the sense that everyone here has survived something and kept going anyway. Taft feels like a town that peaked during an oil boom and then politely waited for the world to come back. It did not. What remains is a place where homes are affordable, rents are low, and the streets are often empty under a relentless sun. The economy leans heavily on schools, correctional facilities, gas stations, and whatever oil activity still exists. Summers are brutally hot, and the wind has a personality that feels personal. Local government operates with limited resources and a lot of improvisation, maintaining roads and utilities with determination rather than innovation. It is not flashy, and it does not pretend to be. What it offers is ownership, space, and silence. You can step outside, see a wide open sky, and know that the house behind you is actually yours. Clear Lake looks like a vacation brochure until you stay long enough to read the fine print. The lake itself is stunning, ancient, and deceptively peaceful. Homes are relatively affordable, especially considering the scenery, but the town struggles with crime, infrastructure issues, and a constant sense of municipal chaos. Local government is stretched thin, juggling budget shortfalls and delayed upgrades. Roads are rough, signage is inconsistent, and public services feel reactive rather than proactive. Living here can feel emotionally confusing. One moment you are paddleboarding at sunset, and the next you are installing extra locks and wondering what that noise was outside. The beauty pulls people in, and the reality tests their patience. Clear Lake is not boring, but it is unpredictable, and that unpredictability is part of the price. Ridgecrest is a desert town where affordability meets functionality. It sits near a major military installation which anchors the job market and brings a steady population of engineers, scientists, and support staff. Houses are reasonably priced, rents are manageable, and the cost of living stays below much of the state. Crime is relatively low, and city services are surprisingly competent. Roads are maintained, utilities are reliable, and local officials tend to respond instead of deflect. Earthquakes are part of life here, and the ground occasionally reminds residents that it is alive. The dust is relentless, the sun is intense, and food delivery is not a realistic expectation. What you get in return is peace, space, and a mortgage that does not dominate your life. Ridgecrest feels stable in a state where stability is rare. Susanville is isolation by design. Tucked into northeastern California, surrounded by forests and mountains, it feels removed from the rest of the state both physically and culturally. Housing is affordable, rents are low, and crime is minimal. The largest employers are government-related, including correctional facilities and education. Winters are serious, with snowstorms followed by clear, cold days that feel sinister.
Amenities are limited, and dining options are basic, but the quiet is profound. Living here means choosing stillness over stimulation. The nights are dark, the stars are sharp, and the silence can either heal you or slowly unravel you, depending on who you are. Susanville offers solitude, ownership, and a sense that the outside world has been turned down several notches. Avenel sits quietly in the Central Valley, often overlooked and rarely discussed. It exists to work, not to impress. Housing prices are low, rents are among the cheapest in the state, and the cost of living reflects that simplicity. The economy is built around agriculture, logistics, and a state prison that provides steady employment. City services are functional rather than polished, and infrastructure improvements arrive slowly but eventually. Life here is hot, flat, and predictable. Entertainment is minimal, but stability is not. Avenal does not promise excitement. It offers a chance to breathe financially, to own property, and to build something steady without constant pressure. Calexico lives at the border, both literally and culturally. It is a city shaped by movement, heat, and exchange. Homes are affordable, especially given its size and location, and rents remain accessible. Crime is lower than many expect, and neighborhoods often rely on strong social ties. The economy is deeply connected to cross-border activity, government services, logistics, and retail. City infrastructure is under constant stress from heat and population flow, but it functions through necessity. Summers are extreme. Traffic at the border can test anyone's patience, and air conditioning is not optional. What Calexico offers is energy, culture, and a sense of place that feels alive rather than curated. It is not quiet, but it is authentic. Delano is built on labor. Fields stretch outward, feeding the agricultural engine of the state, while the town itself remains grounded and affordable. Home prices and rents stay relatively low, though the work is demanding and often physical. Crime exists, mostly property-related, and the city operates on limited resources supported by state programs. Delano carries historical weight as the birthplace of farm labor activism, and that legacy still shapes its identity. Life here revolves around harvest seasons, heat, and hard work. It is not a place you escape responsibility. It is a place where responsibility is unavoidable. Delano feels used, essential, and honest. Needles sits at the edge of California, where the desert meets multiple state lines and the heat becomes legendary. Housing here is some of the cheapest in the state, and rents reflect that. The cost of living is low, oversight is minimal, and freedom feels tangible. Summers are extreme beyond description, and isolation is part of daily life. Amenities are limited, and entertainment often involves the river, the sky, or your own imagination. What Needles offers is quiet ownership, low monthly costs, and a sense that you have stepped outside the usual systems. Nights are still, stars are vivid, and the silence can feel like relief. Imperial rounds out the list as a place where affordability and heat coexist in dramatic fashion. Homes are attainable, rents are reasonable, and crime is lower than many comparable towns. The economy centers on agriculture, government work, and border-related services. Summers are intense, with temperatures that turn daily errands into endurance events. Life slows down during the hottest hours, and schedules adapt around the sun. Despite the challenges, Imperial offers friendly communities, clear skies, and a realistic path to ownership. It proves that California is not uniformly expensive, only selectively so. These towns are not hidden gems in the traditional sense. They are compromises, trade-offs, and opportunities wrapped in dust, heat, and silence. For some people, that trade is worth